Yeah, we're playing the 4 to 8 Shibuya Scramble. It's a little bit bad, still, but I'm hoping that the combination of udon and, warming my voice gradually through raiding here is gonna help, maybe. It's not as bad as it was yesterday. Yesterday my voice was super bad. My throat, like, my throat felt like I ate just straight tree bark. But I'm feeling a little bit better today, so, yeah. We'll see how this goes. We just got Minarikawa's bad end, so... So I think Minarikawa's bad end here is linked to whatever Kano does. Osawa's bad end is linked to what Achi does. And we don't know who can affect Tama's bad end, so... I feel like we haven't seen much of Minarikawa yet. Minarikawa's event was pretty short. So, let's see if we can avert his bad end. Aaron Judgment. I'm about to do a lot of raiding. As he wandered through the back alleys, Kano gritted his teeth. Going after the guy on the bike had been a bad judgment call. Time he got back up onto the pedestrian overpass, the man who'd thrown the attached case was almost out of sight. Kano prided himself on being the fleet of foot, but he knew that even he would never catch the guy before he disappeared. He'd follow the culprit as far as the alleys, but there he'd lost him completely. All he could do now was hope one of his colleagues caught the man on the motorcycle. Kusei's voice crackled through the earpiece. Mobile Command Center calling all units. Suspect on the motorcycle has handed off the case to an accomplice in Miyashita Park, another foreigner. For real? Kano muttered. One thing immediately struck him as strange. Why hand off the case to someone else at all? Why not just escape on the bike? The man with the motorcycle dumped the bike and fled on foot. We've retrieved the bike and run the plate. We've determined it was a stolen vehicle. Advanced police communication is carefully maintained. Using the digital wireless systems in their patrol cars, access the station's computer network. Line them to quickly see if an individual is on the wanted list or if a vehicle is stolen. Don't have enough details to positively ID the suspect. Suspect is now carrying the attached case is heading through Dogenzaka, also on foot. We've gotten him under observation. Dogenzaka, huh? That wasn't too far from where Kano was now. Looks like we're dealing with a foreign crime syndicate that's familiar with Shibuya. All units head to Dogenzaka, but I repeat, do not attempt to apprehend the suspect with the case. Let's see where he goes. Kano nodded to himself. Without knowing more about the crook's MO, letting this guy go for now is probably the only right call. Just want you all to know one last thing. Kusei's tone grew more solemn. Whatever happens, I know I can count on each and every one of you. Don't disappoint me. Oh man, over and out. Kano had the unsettling feeling that the message had been meant for him. Right, it's now or never. Sudden appearance of the syndicate and its bizarre actions were rapidly moving things beyond the jurisdiction of both the MPD and the local police. Mastering his resolve, Kano headed for Dogenzaka. Kano pulled his cell phone out of his pocket. Excuse me. It was Rumi calling. She knew full well he wasn't supposed to take private calls while he was working a case. Maybe it was an emergency. He decided to pick up. Rumi, I'm sorry, are you in the middle of something right now? Kind of. Is this an emergency? Well, yeah. So, I'm in Shibuya right now, and... Shibuya? Why she had to be in Shibuya right now of all times? So, my father came down from Nagano all of a sudden. What? Rumi's father, Shizuo, has been staunchly opposed to the two of them getting married. Man, poor guy. Kano Kano had visited his home many times, but the man has never even deigned to meet him. Yeah, he told me he wants to meet with you. Oh. Now? Kano blurted out the words with more alarm than he intended. Is this why he stalled Minorikawa's Minorikawa's taxi? Told him you were busy working, but he said he'd wait. This can't be happening, Kano whimpered to himself. I'm sorry, I know he can be demanding. That's not the issue. Your dad offering to wait made it harder for him to refuse. Alright, Kano said. But I'll have to call you back later, okay? I really am sorry. I'll be at a cafe called Le Trek. It's by the train station. Rumi hung up. For a long moment, Kano stood in a daze staring at his phone, as if keeping up with the case wasn't stressful enough. You can multitask. At last he stumbled into motion, but as he scoured Dogen Saga for any sign of the criminal, his mind remained fixed on the meeting with Rumi's dad. There was no way of knowing when he'd be done with his casework today, but could he really pass up on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get her father's approval for her hand in marriage? Odds are that this will not be the only once-in-a-lifetime experience Detective Kano winds up having today. Maybe he could slip away for just a bit. Plenty of detectives still tailing the suspect. Taking 15 minutes or so to meet with Shizuo wouldn't be such a big deal, would it? No. Right now I got a job to focus on. Kano shook his head to clear out the foolish impulses. What the hell is he thinking? A girl's life is on the line. Marrying Rumi was more important to him than anything, but now wasn't the time. Besides, now that he thought about it, running out on a criminal investigation to meet with the old man probably wasn't going to score him any points. Rumi's dad didn't strike him as someone who would approve of shirking one's responsibilities. Kano would just have to wrap up this kidnapping case a little ahead of schedule, then he could have a proper sit-down with Shizuo. As he considered his plan, he caught sight of the man with the attached case walking by. Are you sure? It is a foreigner. Further up along Dogen Saga in the direction the perp was heading, where Yamate Dori joined Route 246. Guy was planning to meet up with a getaway car. No wait, hold on. If that were the plan, why would the gang have ditched the motorcycle earlier? Kano started tailing the man, racking his brain all the while. Suspect turned down a narrow side road. He wasn't heading toward Yamatadori or Route 246 at all, but back towards Shibuya Station. What in the world was going on? Starting to feel like the crooks were just messing with the investigation team. Kano radioed Kuze on the wireless. Digital make transmissions more difficult to intercept. Several different channels available, including the basic local channel, common channel for contacting other nearby patrol cars, assigned to specific precincts, action update channels for riot squads, and so on. A separate channel specifically for kidnapping cases not on the standard wavelengths. Yeah. Sir, I don't think there's any point in seeing where this guy leads us anymore. That's not your call to make. Keep watching him. Sir, this is a waste of time. Girl might be in danger if... Kano's argument was cut short as he saw the man hand off the attached case to yet another foreigner. Again. How many times were these criminals gonna pull this trick? Detectives broke into two groups to follow both of the men. Kano followed the man with the attached case, who eventually led him back to the area around Shibuya Station. Rumi and Shizuo should be waiting at a nearby cafe right now. Kano tried to remember the name. That's right, it was called Le Trek. Name of the cafe where college student Ryoko Kakinuma works as waitress. Named after 19th century painter Henry Toulouse-Lautrec, created numerous works, including many posters, book illustrations, book covers, which are hardly regarded in the art world. Kept his eye out for a place by that name as he tailed the target. For Before long, he did spot the cafe. Its a large plate glass window offered a view of the cozy interior. Saying out front, read Lautrec. Looked like this was the place. Man with the case was waiting at the intersection waiting for the light to change. Kano took the opportunity to peer inside. Spotted Rumi right away. She was facing away from him. The man seated across from her must be her father. Kano realized he'd never even seen a picture of him. Shizuo grew organic produce in Nagano nowadays, but until 2 years ago he'd been a detective with the Investigation Division. Investigative division responsible for handling crimes such as murder, kidnapping, arson takes place within Tokyo Metropolis. Truly exceptional officers are assigned to this division. Regularly dispatched to various regional task forces to aid in investigations. Talents and experience often prove critical. Position of section chief is traditionally given only to dedicated personnel well-versed with crime scenes and organizational administration. I wonder if he's here because of the case, then. Okay. Remy looked up to her father for his distinguished police career and always spoke very highly of him. Kano figured that if he became a policeman, Rumi might appreciate that. It was a simple impulse that led him to join the force. Kano seems very impulsive. He had also figured that public servants could stay afloat even in times of recession. Physical training would serve him well in the line of work. Once he was a policeman, he thought he could approach Shizuo with his head held high and ask for his blessing in marrying his daughter. After Rumi graduated from university, Shizuo had upped and retired from police work. Even Rumi didn't know why he'd made the decision. Kano had traveled to Nagano many times to ask Shizuo for permission to marry her. The only response he ever got was, "I'm not giving away my daughter to any cop." Kano had never even gotten past the intercom before her father turned him away. Years on the force had nearly made Kano lose sight of what had driven him to become a policeman in the first place. Now the chance to meet Shizuo face to face has finally come. He peered intently into the cafe. Across from Rumi sat an older man with a grim expression. Ugh. Who was this hard-faced fellow? Took a lot to rattle Kano, but the guy looks scary. Could this really be sweet little Rumi's father? Prospect of meeting with him later filled Kano with sudden dread. Maybe he's just a nice guy deep down. Man went into JR Shibuya Station and stood before the ticket machine. He was planning on boarding a train. Scene from a popular movie about a kidnapping sprang into Kano's mind, where the crook had made off with the ransom money after it was tossed out the window of a train. What if the guy managed to get outside the dragnet and pull a stunt like that? Looks like the suspect is going to board a train, Kano informed Kuze over the wireless. Make sure you stay on his tail. Apparently Kuze still wanted to string the perp along for a bit, yet the lizard's ready to pursue. Police lingo for motorcycle squads deployed to pursue suspects in urban settings. Okay, Lizards is a fun name. We'll re-establish our dragnet around whatever station he gets off at. Purchase a ticket from the machine and pass through the gate. There's no way to tell what station he'd brought a ticket for, but it looked like he was heading clockwise around the Yamanote line loop. Kano used his prepaid card and made his way through the ticket gate as well. Do not actually get free rides on public transportation simply by flashing their badges. As is frequently depicted in TV shows and films, doing so might risk alerting the suspect. Prepaid cards are provided ahead of time. Announcement chime signaled the imminent arrival of a train up on the platform. Man made his way up the stairs, looking calm and composed. He showed no signs of checking for pursuers. Kano hurried after him. Man stopped at the very edge of the platform to wait the train. Not ideal. No way for Kano to get close without sticking out like a sore thumb. train glided up to the platform. Anne gave a quick look around as he stepped aboard. Kano followed. Trains on the Yamanote line didn't stop for long, and soon they were on their way. Does the train have cameras? Like they did in the Lost Judgment? Glancing around, Kano noticed other MPD investigators who had slipped aboard the train as well. Suspect stood behind the driver's compartment, staring contemplatively at the scenery outside. Man's composure only served to rattle Kano more. A man on a gaudy necktie walked past Kano, talking on his cell phone. "Everything's going fine on this end," he said. "There's no need to worry." In his other hand, he carried the same sort of attached case as the man they were tailing. Headed right towards the driver's compartment and stood next to the suspect. That's not suspicious. Leaned his head slightly, trying to make out what he could of the phone conversation at the other end of the car. I don't know if we recognize this guy. Is there any way for me to, like... I don't think we recognize this guy anywhere. Yes, of course. 225 pages, all fully proofread. This guy might have something to do with Minorikawa's story. 225. Article 225 of the Penal Code of Japan details kidnapping for profit and kidnapping for ransom. Accordingly, 225 is police shorthand for kidnapping. That was police jargon for kidnapping. Is this guy in cahoots with the kidnapper? Maybe the criminals had planned an attached case swap. Well, there's a noticeable size difference when they're next to each other, but I'm not quite sure. If you could tell when they were apart. I think they would at least get identical suitcases. Kinda watched the newcomer like a hawk. Rather than making contact with the suspect, the man turned around and strolled back the way he'd come. Hadn't done anything suspicious at all. Right. Understood. Kano saw a glimpse of the man's face as he passed. He stopped and looked at Kano, seemingly aware that he was being watched. Kano decided to... I guess he already knows that we've been looking at him. Stare him down. Decided to stare him down. My apologies, the man said. He shut his phone with a click. Well, it's rather rude to talk on one's cell phone when you're on a train. That's just common decency. Man affected a smile and headed back to the car from which he'd come. Sheesh. Guess I overreacted. Hey, it's Maki. Gotta stop staring at everyone. An oddly dressed passenger murmured into Kano's ear. Let into surroundings every year more. Sasayama, when did you get here? His partner had somehow found time to change his disguise. The expression on his face was at odds with his anime nerd getup. Kano had seen Sasayama disguise himself as plenty of things throughout the years. Right where for Sasayama to actually wear a suit, on rare occasions when he does, he's walking on the halls of his home precinct, he frequently goes unrecognized. Some of Sasayama's costume designs from his evidence notebook. Santa's a must for Christmas, stakeouts with a smile, keep presents in bag to calm down children in case of emergency. Use this for train stakeouts. Don't forget awkward smile, bag of merch going too far. Build with posters and figurines, glasses are crucial. Prized possession clutched to chest, point is to draw attention in crowded train cars. Tragic expression, sunglasses, suit, and posture amplify wild animal side. Skies for stakeouts at dockside warehouses. Coworkers know horror for him, so as not to be mistaken for the real thing. Arrest crooks while practicing discipline might help to stop funeral robbers. Handcuffs up sleeve. For nighttime stakeouts. Hardcore material. Plenty of exposure. Emphasize bulginess in final version. Emphasize scrotum totem. Emphasize the dictum. Chef, magician, samurai, and astronaut to name a few, but this was a new extreme even for him. When he first joined the force, Kano had found Sasayama's costuming antics amusing, wondering where he managed to find his outfits. But lately, his work had become tedious. You like the ocean? Huh? Never mind. Okay, I guess that's how Tama affected this. Sasayama pulled a small bottle from his breast pocket. Drink this while you can. Guessing you haven't eaten. What's this? Least I could do. Handed Kano the bottle and slipped away into the next compartment. Kano drinks it and then has the shits. Pulled an all-nighter and hadn't eaten, so he's got to have something. He took a sip. Whatever this was, it was bland. Almost didn't taste like anything. Just what had Sasayama given him? What the heck? Better than nothing. Brought the bottle to his lips and chugged the contents down. Oh god, is this what kills Kano? Oh, okay. Okay. Suddenly got a massive head rush. He felt a heat. A heat like a burning that spread inside throughout his whole body. That wasn't right. It was an ache. It was a ferocious ache. A burning that spread from his insides to his fingertips. And then there was pain. A numbing that spread from his insides all the way down to his toes. Burning, aching, hurting. Burning, aching, hurting. Burning, aching, hurting. Twitchy, itchy, dizzy, sleepy, chilly, willy-nilly. This was not good. This is super duper not good. Broke into a cold sweat, his forehead drenched, his body damp and clammy all over. Felt his grip on consciousness slipping. Sasayama, what the hell did you do to me? With bleary eyes, he squinted to read the writing on the bottle. But... burn? Probably shouldn't drink a diet drink while you're... while you're on an empty stomach. After a scant few letters, Kano blacked out. That end. The least he could do. Blacked out after drinking an unknown substance without checking to see what it was. What he drank, it turns out, was a free sample of something called Burning Hammer, but don't blame Sasayama, he's passing along the sample he got from someone in a mascot costume. Man. So, let's fix that, shouldn't we? Gotta give it to the guy. Gotta give it to the sus guy. Actually, yeah, the guy on the left isn't a foreigner, so I'm not quite sure how he... I'm not sure. Not sure how he plays into everyone else, whatever this foreign syndicate's plan is. Try to force it off the businessman to my left. Clutching the freeze... yeah. Here you go, sir. Free sample of Burning Hammer, the latest and greatest diet drink. And he just left. Businessman flashes me a look of utter contempt and makes a point of avoiding me as he slips past. There goes the wind right out of my sails. Wonder how the other mascot is doing about now. Okay, so... I can zoom forward. I don't think anything else is gonna change in... yeah, I don't think anything else is gonna change in Tama's story now. So if I go back to Kano's story, I'll keep the choice that I already did. So now Sasayama won't give him the diet drink. On time to change his disguise. Oh, this text is slightly different. Seen Sasayama disguise himself as plenty of things throughout the years. Santa Claus, Yakuza member, Japanese folk singer, and Buddhist priest, to name a few. New extreme even for him. Okay. Keep your eyes peeled. Sasayama gave Kano a pat on the backside and slipped away into the next car. The suspect, meanwhile, was still staring out the window. Announcer's electronic voice filled the train compartment. Next stop Harajuku, next stop Harajuku. Huh? Kano almost cried out. Suspect was moving towards the exit door. It's only taking the train one station down the line. Harajuku Station? Train pulled into Harajuku Station and the man got off. East of Japan Rail Harajuku Station, corresponding to Jingumai Ichome in Shibuya. Once a bustling Shikuba or post station, where travelers could rest while journeying across the country in modern times. It bustles instead with high schoolers after school displaying flashy fashion. Clothing and accessory stores and fast food restaurants line the streets. Many cutting-edge trends in Japanese youth culture get their start here. Detectives following him disembarked accordingly. The suspect walked along the platform and took a seat on an empty bench. They checking to see if he had a tail. Sticking around on the platform at a station where you just got off is pretty unusual behavior. I feel like we're going into a trap here. Not wanting to arouse the man's suspicion, the investigators from the MPD made their way down the stairs as inconspicuously as they could. Kano, however, had a sudden inspiration. Went to speak to one of the station attendants. Tried to bother you, but I think I left something on the train just now. He tried to keep an eye on the man on the bench as he fed his story to the attendant. Suspect sat silently on the bench, attached case clutched security in his arms. Didn't really look like he was checking for a tail. Waiting here for someone else then. A train heading counterclockwise around the loop arrived. Rose from his bench and stepped up to the boarding area. What the heck? This guy just got on the counterclockwise train. Wouldn't that take him right back to Shibuya Station? The man boarded the train. Kano had no choice but to follow suit. Was this guy playing them? Got off again once the train reached Shibuya. All he'd done was go to Harajuku and come right back. Kano reported to Kuze. That is... I feel like lifting your lapel to like speak into like a hidden microphone looks very conspicuous. Regular businessmen don't do that. Not even to like wipe like, I don't know, some soup off your chin. Suspect has returned to Shibuya Station. Acknowledged, keep tailing him. Kano felt himself growing increasingly paranoid. Criminal organization didn't seem too keen on getting away. Here is HQ giving these guys free rein. Something was off, he was sure of that. Tailed the mark, Kano took out his phone. What were Tatsuno's instincts about the case right now? If the senior detective had any advice, Kano would love to hear it. Dial Tatsuno's number. Line rang a few times, but nobody picked up. He was too busy seeing to Tomi's safety. Kano felt bewildered. During an abduction case, you generally didn't update the victim's family on any developments in case they tried to interfere. Kano could only imagine what the Osawa family was going through right now. After a short walk from Shibuya Station, the attached case was handed off yet again. The recipient was a tall, dark-skinned man. Again, the Shibuya-based task force split into two groups in order to tail both suspects. Kano stuck with the man who had the case, because he's the protagonist. As the previous man had done, the newest suspect wandered around Dogensaka for a while. Repeatedly looping around and around the same locations was a weirdly roundabout way to make a series of handoffs. Excuse me, detective? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Kano turned around with a start. Oh hey, I know you. It was Leyland Palmer, the lecturer who had been an eyewitness to the kidnapping. Man practically radiated concern. How's Maria doing? Is she alright? We can't talk about that. I am very worried for her. His Japanese was more halting now. My heart is with her family. Kano gave a quick look around. It didn't appear that they were being watched. Are you trying to distract him? Ooh. Ooh, I don't know what to do here. Maybe Palmer knew more than he told the police earlier. If Kano talked to him now, he might get some additional clues. Actually, Leyland, do you mind if I ask you a few more questions about the party where the kidnapping occurred? Leyland squared his shoulders. No, please, ask anything. You know what time Maria showed up at the event? Hesitated, thinking. Probably around 6. She was there when it started. Anyone else there who stood out? Stood out how? It's one you usually wouldn't expect to see there. Leland tilted his head. I don't think so. Everyone there was a student from my class, including the exchange students. Not much new here. One last question. Did you happen to hear why Atomi was running late in the first place? No. Not very helpful, am I? Thank you for your cooperation. Help Maria. I will. Parted ways with Leyland and went back to telling his suspect. Ah. Pulled his phone from the pocket. It was Rumi again. Weird that she'd call twice when she knew he was in the middle of something important. Something happened while she was waiting at the cafe with Shizuo. I feel like we're about to hit a bad end. Kano picked up hurriedly. What's the matter? What's the matter? You know what the matter is. Oh. Rather than Rumi's soft soprano, was threatening masculine voice that came over the phone. Uh-oh. Kano felt his whole body stiffen with dread. Is this my father-in-law speaking? Don't remember being anyone's father-in-law. The speaker's tone was firm and flat. Oh, I know, Kano found himself at a loss for words. You're dating my daughter, huh? Sir, yes, sir. Kano barely squeaked out his reply. Think about getting married. Yeah, sir. And speaking of, live the chance to sit down and have a nice long... How long are you gonna keep me waiting? Hurry up and get your ass over here. Oh, how very much Kano wished he could do exactly that. Sir, I would, but... Forget it. Words came in an angry huff. You can't have her, goodbye. Man. Man. As Kano cried in desperation, he heard Rumi's voice on the other end of the line. Dad, you can't just use my phone like that. You're taking too long in the bathroom. Give it back. Rumi. Kano tried and failed to keep the heartbreak out of his voice. Sweetie, what's wrong? Your father just said he doesn't want us getting married. Dad, what'd you say to my boyfriend? Listen to you. Calling that boy little pet names and whatnot. I think you're a little too attached. I haven't met him. So I told you to have him come see me. How long is he gonna make me wait? Kano listened as the two argued on the other end of the phone. Phone must be lying somewhere between them. Could this get any more awkward? Oh, Rumi, I'm sorry, Kano shouted apologetically into the mouthpiece. This is all my fault. You don't have to fight like this. Phone clattered as Rumi scrambled to bring it to her cheek. I'm the one who should be sorry. Sorry for what? If Shizuo again grumbling in the background, you have nothing to apologize for. Deal with my father, Rumi said hastily. Just focus on work, sweetie. I know you're in the middle of something really important. Thanks, Rumi. I was legitimately touched. I'll do my best. Okay. I guess it's not a bad end. Kano hung up and went back to the task at hand more determined than ever. Is it? Okay, no, not bad end. For Rumi's sake, not to mention the victims, he needed to focus on cracking this case. Man he was tailing was walking several meters ahead. No telling when Kuzi might give the arrest order. Braced himself to spring into action the very instant the order came down. Mobile command to all units. Once more, the director's voice came over the wireless. It was time to make the arrest at last. We've identified the man who first picked up the attached case by the statue of Hachiko. No arrest yet then, but still a crucial development. Tariq al-Karawan. He's got priors for larceny, illegal possession of narcotics, you name it. Belongs to a foreign criminal syndicate that's operating in Shibuya. Felt his apprehension rising. The syndicate was behind the kidnapping. They're anything but amateurs. Though they might be leading the police on a wild goose chase, they certainly weren't playing around. To be continued. I'm surprised I got through Kano's 11 o'clock hour time block pretty quickly. I guess like once the pieces are all lined up, it's pretty much just like a straight shot to the end of the time block. So since that happened, Toyama or Inorikawa should arrive in time to stop Toyama from killing himself. So taxi's tires squealed as the cab ran. Oh, actually, I might have already read this, or maybe not. Oh, there we go. 10 minutes on the dot. The driver announced. Okay. Inorikawa righted himself and looked out the window. Shibuya Station. I know you can do it, Mr. Kimizuka. Told the driver how to get to Heaven's Publishing. Shouldn't be more than 5 minutes further. Sir, if I may ask, just what are you in such a hurry over? Son of a bitch. Beg your pardon. Kimizuka bristled. Not you, the guy who's waiting on me, Inorikawa said. Give that son of a bitch a piece of my mind. The multi-tenant building where Heaven Publishing had its offices came into view. Taxi stop outside. Minori opened the door as he hurriedly reached for his wallet, then he stopped. What if the worst come to pass and he needed to take Toyama to a hospital? Should I have the taxi wait here, or would it be better to call an ambulance? Sir, is there a problem? The driver asked. Wait here, I'll be right back. Minorikawa was running out of the cab the instant and running for the building. Once inside, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven's Publishing rented out the 3rd and 4th floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be the editing of... When he got there, however, the door was locked. Mr. Toyama! Hey, Mr. Toyama! He shouted and banged, but there was no reply. Something was seriously wrong. Minorikawa took a deep breath and kicked the door in. Whoa. Oh. Well, we're here in time to stop him, so... Toyama was standing on a stool about to slip his head through a noose that hung from the ceiling. What the hell are you doing? Norikawa lunged for Toyama. Two men crashed to the floor in a tangled heap. Pile of clusters slid off a nearby desk and fell on top of them. Minorikawa, what are you doing? Toyama whined. Dragging himself back up to his feet proved something of a challenge. It's what I'd like to know. Minorikawa's fury was mounting. What the hell is this all about? He jabbed an accusing finger at the noose hanging from the ceiling. Oh, that one of the fluorescent lights died, and I was swapping it out. Don't you feed me that bowl? What was that phone call all about? That business about how the only thing you could do is die. Tell me. Just a joke, shitty joke, man. Toyama curled his lips into a faint semblance of a smile. Minorikawa wasn't buying it, but he didn't have time to press the issue. Cute little voice echoed through the editing office. Daddy, I'm back from the store. Little girl came walking in, carrying a length of rubber gas tubing. It was Toyama's 5th grade daughter, Hana. Only daughter, currently 10 years old. The night Hana was born at Shibuya Central Hospital, there was an unexpected fireworks display outside the window of the maternity ward. As you look out at the bursting rockets, Taro decided to name his daughter Hana after the Japanese word for fireworks, Hanabi. Norikawa stared. Toyama, you were planning to use that hose to... He hesitated to end his sentence with gas yourself to death. You know, it's almost gas heater season after all. Hell is this? It was a beautiful, sunny April day outside. You know how sensitive I am to the cold. It's getting... it's getting truly ridiculous. Norikawa got right up in his face. Listen, just explain to me what the heck is going on, okay? His voice low, but his eyes were steely. Hana clung tightly to her father, gazing worriedly up at the two men. Toyama let out a long, heavy sigh of resignation. Keep out, man. Don't keep me out here. You'll need to jump from another protagonist. Keywords might be hidden within a tip. Junichi Yanagashita shows up in Tama's story at 11:20. He lets out a sigh like Toyama's. Try taking the tip for that sigh. I need to figure out how to continue Tama's story, though. Tama's story ends at 11:15, 11:20. And I think in order to continue it, you need to tell, like, those two Yakuza guys how to not get to her boss. So, well, we haven't done Achi's yet. Kano, you're done. Achi's gonna be the key to continuing Osawa and Tama, I think. At gunpoint. Man with the cane aimed his gun at Hitomi, his face devoid of emotion. Please, the girl said, trembling. Why are you doing this? The man did not reply. Quickly, Achi stepped in between Hitomi and the gun, spreading his arms wide. Stop, he said in English, one of the few English words he knew. He quickly reverted back to Japanese. Who the hell are you? Stop it. Still, the man did not respond. You know this guy, Hitomi? No. Achi was sure he'd never seen the man either. What are you after, money? Because if you are, boy, are you wasting your time chasing us. The man furrowed his brow. I'm pretty sure he shows up in Tama's story, like, not 5 minutes after this, though. Adjusting his point of aim to Achi's face, his bloodthirsty gaze left Achi no doubt that he was willing to pull the trigger. Flexibly, Achi took a step back, his foot clattering against a discarded beer bottle. Get gunned down for sure. Unless we can find a way to catch this guy off guard. It didn't need to be much. If Achi could just distract the gunman for a moment, buy himself the briefest window. Shoot me then. Go on, do it. Stepped forward as he shouted, hoping the provocation would have confused the guy for just long enough. Oh. Even as Achi moved, the gunman's attention was distracted for an instant by a sudden sound. The phone in his breast pocket was ringing. Seeing his chance... Ooh, what do we do? Ooh, what do we do? What do we do? This is life or death. I think in fight or flight situations, they always say, if you can run, then run. Fighting should be your last resort, basically. Grabbed Hitomi and ran. Hitomi! Achi grabbed Hitomi and ran. He charged the man at the doorway, kicking at the cane he leaned on. Oh! Assassin lost his balance and stumbled to the left. Run! Still holding Hitomi's hand, Achi rushed out of the club. She sprinted away through the side streets and alleys of Shibuya. Achi began to feel as if they were running some maddening maze. For long, the two had made it almost as far as Aoyama. Wait up. Huh? Achi, wait up! Achi glanced back at Hitomi. My bad, guess we've been running pretty hard. You tired? Hitomi shook her head. It's just that I have to get to Dogenzaka. Dogenzaka? What for? What could she possibly need to do there now? That's what I was told when I was handed over the attach case. The man leaned in to whisper to Hitomi as he reached out for the case. You're gonna do exactly as I tell you. 2 things. You wore a cool faint smile as if this were some casual conversation. You're going to go to Dogenzaka and get in the blue van there. Hitomi nodded wordlessly. Second, you will not attempt to contact either the police or your family in the meantime. His chilling tone broke no argument. Just those two things and we'll let your sister go. They want her to get into a blue van. What's this guy doing? They already have like, what is it? They already have leverage over her with her sister. So, I don't think... Maybe the assassin isn't working with the foreign syndicate then? Maybe. I don't know. Tommy nodded again. The man flashed her a big bright grin. Okay then. Give me the money. A blue van in Dogenzaka, Achi muttered. So that's why you said the police were a no-go. Exactly. Tomi's voice betrayed her desperation. I wonder if your sister's in that van then. If she is, then we've gotta hurry. Issue lay in how to get to Dogenzaka. Probably avoid her pursuer if they kept to the streets only the locals usually know about. Okay, that meant staying off the more well-trafficked routes like Roppongi Dori or the stretch between Yamasuzaka and the station. Side roads south of the station were their best bet. It's gonna be a long detour. Alright, come on. Turning around, Achi headed back the way they come. After a moment's confusion, Hitomi followed. Achi. There was a note of worry in her voice. Don't sweat it. I actually live in Dogenzaka. We're heading right back to my old neighborhood. Hitomi bowed her head. Thank you so much. It's no problem. I had to head home anyway. Achi gave her a grin and then she cracked a tiny smile of her own. You too, you got a minute? Oh, okay. So this is gonna be for Thomas, sorry. A pair of men approached from across the street. There's something shady looking about them. Achi's protective instincts kicked in and he stepped in front of Hitomi. These two guys meant trouble, so he wanted to be ready. Just wanted to ask you something. He observed the two men drew in closer, a sharp gleam in his eye. Achi braced himself. Ask us what? Know where the Nokane building is? The man held up a flyer. It's for some health food sales demo. Come on man, the Nokane building. You know where it is or not? Achi knew the name. Was that one of the buildings in Center Guy? Near Dogenzaka, the same direction he was going. I don't like don't like the thought of these two following Hitomi and me. Pointed them in the opposite direction from Center Guy. Pretty sure it's that way, he said. Thanks, man. Sorry to bug you. Two men headed off towards the main road, and then got ran over. No, that'd be a little fucked. They're just some guys. So that should change Tama's story now. Achin and Tomi hurried onward, following the sparsely trafficked side streets towards Dogen Saga. I don't think I even knew this part of Shibuya was here, Tomi said as she looked around. 5 points if you hit them dead on. Man. They look like they do. They're just Yakuza, come on. Yeah, a lot of people don't. I used to mess around in this neighborhood when I was a kid. Area was a mishmash of rundown residents and office buildings. Almost nobody ever comes here unless they live or work on one of these streets. They never kill anyone. Depends. I mean, in the other ending, they most definitely put Tama's boss. They most definitely put Tama's boss in a barrel full of concrete and send him down the bottom of the ocean. Because that's a thing that Yakuza do. So, yeah. I think, like, it might be a thing where, like, Yakuza they don't murder people, they disappear people. Because if the police get involved, that's more trouble for them than it's worth. So yeah, if they kill someone, they disappear them. They unalive them. They make Yakuza dead souls. Yakuza pulling a lever and setting their enemies into a copy of Dead Souls. Yeah, pretty much. Almost nobody ever comes here unless they live or work on one of these streets. And check it out. Over there, a rare first-hand glimpse of the Shibuya River. Minor River runs from Miyamasu Bridge to Tengen Bridge, depicted in 36 Views of Mount Fuji by Edo period ukiyo-e artist Hokusai. Hokusai's time, fireflies were collected from the Shibuya River and sent to the Shogun, letting credence to the idea that the river was indeed clean in the past. Have you always lived in Shibuya, Achi? Yep, born and raised. Achi bent down to pick up a piece of trash from the roadside. That's why I do this. It just pisses me off to see folks make a mess of this place. Picked up another piece of trash. I don't have a job, I just pick up garbage every day. Man, what am I even doing? Like, cleanup even matters right now. Tommy took a long, hard look at his face. What? He demanded. What is it? You're strange, Banachi. That's so? She was right, of course. It's sort of strange collecting trash every day instead of getting a job. You can get a job as a trash man. He had his reasons for it, but they weren't important right now. Right now, the important thing was getting Hitomi to Dogen Saga. Come on, he murmured. I'm like pretty sure that Dogen Saga is actually usually romanized as Dogen Saga, not Dogen Saka. I don't know, I feel like it's usually romanized that way. Or maybe it's just romanized like that in the Yakuza series. Maybe, I don't know. Sudden angry shout broke the silence as they hurried along. I live right there. Achini told me stop, but the shout wasn't directed at them. Uh-oh. Further up the road, a group of thuggish-looking men were having some kind of argument. The man who was shouting had grabbed one of the others by the neck. Is that a guy? Idiots, and you still got the gall to call yourself SOS? Studs of Shibuya? Yusuke operating out of Shibuya, founded by Achi Endo? Current leader is Susumu Nishizawa. I mean, yeah, Susumu, but the other man standing around looked distinctly uncomfortable. It takes money to run an organization. I know, and since it's not like you're Achi or nothing, I thought you can maybe spare some help on that front, boss. The top dog, the man in charge, the head honcho. Here refers to the leader of SOS Susumu. Change in leadership can really shake up an organization. The new boss's personality and disposition are a huge factor in whether the group continues to prosper. The fact that Susumu is being asked to spare some help on the monetary front suggests that he still has things to learn about being in charge. Still got a ways to go. Tell me look at Achi when a stranger spoke his name. He smiled awkwardly, then turned back to the altercation. Shut your mouth, Susumu barked. How dare you say Achi's name in my presence? Hey. What's that about me? For some reason, this guy looked like he had a big ass from, like, that previous screen. Hold on. I wish I could go back to that previous screen and see how big that guy's ass was. As soon as he saw him, the other men went pale. Achi kept his tone casual as he strolled up to the group. Susumu, you can't just give the guy a beat down in broad daylight. Someone Don't want to shock the upstanding people of our fair city. Achi. Susumu glared. Can we drop the pleasantries? Alright. Achi replied with a hint of a sneer. Got it, Susumu. And I like to point out we're not on a first name basis. Damn. Is that Susumu turned and stalked away. His buddies followed suit, leaving Achi and Hitomi alone again. Did you know that guy, Hitomi asked? His name is Susumu Nishizawa. Yeah, I know him, or I thought I did. Used to be friends way back. Me and those guys were all part of the same crew, but I bailed a little while ago. Achi fell silent. To his great relief, Hitomi didn't pry further. Achi and Hitomi had gone a short distance further when he caught a sight of a man picking something up alongside the train tracks. I wonder. Went over to him. Hey man, you picking up trash by any chance? The man let out a panicked shout. Taisei Yasuda, 35 years old, just opened a knick-knack shop in Shibuya. Achi knows Shibuya like his own backyard, but this Yasuda guy is new enough that Achi doesn't recognize him. He has a luck, and I kind of appreciate it. Sorry, it kind of looked like that's what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm picking up trash, of course. Guys seem pretty unnerved. Like, I just got to thinking, man, this place is filthy. Right on! The man clasped the man's hand in his own. Someone else gets it. I love Achi so much. Achi is such a great character. Like, I've known Achi for like an hour or so. And I really appreciate his characterization in this game. Totally. See all this trash all over the place and I can't stand it. Yeah, sure. Maybe breathe a sigh of relief. That totally wasn't what he was doing. Just can't stand it when someone throws away something when it can be useful. I hear that. That's a spirit. Haha. Achi pulled out the trash he had stuffed in his pocket. Here you go. Huh? Go ahead, have all of it. The man looked dumbfounded. Usually go around picking up trash around here, but I got a little thing I gotta do today. You got it from here. I'm counting on you. Actually, I'm kinda... Right, thanks. Achi beamed in approval, then rejoined Hitomi and headed down on the street. Okay. The man let out a sigh. He just looks like the friendliest grandpa. And I just think that's neat. Fine. Slipping through a narrow back alley, they came out near the top of Dogenzaga. Actually, I think before when Kano was tailing the black guy, I think he like stopped at a van or something. I don't remember if that was a blue van or anything. I don't remember the color of that van. I just sort of remember seeing him like at like the open trunk of a van, but I don't remember what color it was. Could have been blue, could have been white. Achi looked down the hill but didn't see a blue van anywhere. He and Hitomi started making their way down Shibuya Station. Hitomi muttered to herself, "I don't see it parked around here." Her face twisted up with worry. There was a scene at like the very start of the game, I think, where a guy was locked in the... He was like tied up in the trunk of the blue van. And he texted like... He was texting something like, "I have been deceived" or something. And Hitomi saw him in the van, and then the van blew up. It was a lot harder to find street parking closer to the station. So are like they sending her to show her this guy dying? Or to try and kill her? Achi had a sudden idea. He darted into a nearby soba restaurant, motioning for Hitomi to follow. "Hey, he called out to the proprietress. A sharp-eyed, middle-aged woman. You're looking as lovely as ever today, I see." "Oh, Achi, you done collecting trash for today?" The lady took a look at Hitomi, her eyes lighting up. "Maki Oneda. When she was 19, she happened to stop by this place and was captivated by the chill curry soba." Man, that sounds pretty good, actually. I don't quite understand curry flavored like soup, noodled soup, but I should probably try it at some point. By this day's end, she decided to make the restaurant her new home, married the owner at the age of 22, and they managed the establishment together. Last year, her husband of 30 years passed away. That's early. It's unfortunate. Now she safeguards the generations-old secret of chilled curry soba on her own. "Is this your girlfriend?" No, it's nothing like that." Proprietress was undeterred. "She looks just like a model." Oops, shoot. "She's a spitting image of me at that age." My, Achi's got himself a girlfriend." "It's not like that." The woman waved Hitomi over. "Nah, you know, Achi's got a bit of a mouth on him, and he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's a sweet boy." Okay." Hitomi forced a polite smile on her face. "I'll try to deny it, but don't you listen." "Told you about Suzune, huh?" Man, you've like flashed up there. "Man, please." Achi jumped in on the conversation. "You gotta hear me out." Whatever's the matter? I'm just trying to talk up your good points." "Have you seen a van parked around here?" "A van? Let me think. Yes, come to think about it, there was. A blue one," she added confidently. Tommy leaned forward. "Where is it now?" she asked. "Not really sure. I don't keep a close eye on things outside, after all." Tommy slumped. "I see. Some of these camera angles are a little weird." Actually, there's just like some weird parallaxing coming on here. Is there? Or am I imagining it? It looks like there's like some weird parallaxing here. I know it doesn't look it, but I've been quite busy today. The man who makes my noodles came by earlier to settle accounts, and we fought over it. No head for the finances to that one. That's his problem, honestly. Top of that, of course my part-timer Masa has to have today off. Honestly. First year student at Midoriyama Academy, sweet young man who works part-time delivery driver for Dogen Hut and sends all his leftover money to his mother out in the country. Got himself a girlfriend, sending money back home less frequently. Noodle house job doesn't pay enough to support both his mom and cover his dating expenses, so he's scheming for a way to make it rich quick. Achi frowned. Has she really seen a blue van, or was she just being chatty? You gotta follow the gossip. Gotta follow the gossip thing. Gossip sources. Older women who ran tobacco shops or noodle houses did seem to have a knack for spotting details. Hachi decided to follow up some more. Was there anything unusual about this van? Let me think. Brown, pausing a moment in thought. Aha, a flash of recollection shone in her eye. Now I remember. I think there was some foreigner sitting inside. Achina and Tomi exchanged glances. Sure of it, the man who makes my noodles said he saw it too. Is there anything else? Tomi asked. Not that I can remember. Again, soba. Tomi hung her head in frustration as they left the soba shop. Achi did his best to cheer her up. Might still find a car, let's try waiting around here for a while. Just waiting, what good would that do? It's possible that they went looking for you when you didn't show, Achi said. Maybe it'll come back, you know? He sat down at the edge of the planter outside the restaurant. The criminals already have the money, she said anxiously. Even Achi understood the implications. Now that the crooks had the ransom, their hostage was nothing but a liability. Why take the risk of letting her go when they already had what they wanted? Situation was bad, very bad. Running around Shibuya willy-nilly was only going to tire and frustrate them. Achi wanted to make sure Hitomi had the chance for a little break. We don't have anywhere else to look, so let's just give it 10 minutes, okay? Tomi seemed unconvinced. She looked like she might just march off down Dogenzaga at any moment. Understand how you must feel, but you know what they say. Slow and steady, stay in place. Tomi burst out laughing. It's so funny. Aw, that's adorable. It's slow and steady wins the race. For real? Tomi smiled and sat down beside him. Alright, she said, we can wait here for 10 minutes. Cool. We've run enough races today already, right? Tomi kept her eyes on the cars passing through Dogensaka for a while. Then she murmured softly to Achi. Thank you so much for everything, really. You can thank me after we find this van. Sure, if I'd been by myself, I'd been in too much of a panic to do anything. What can I say? I try to keep my head up and face things as they come. Quite the optimist, aren't you? Achi grinned. He tried to recall what optimist meant. He's pretty sure it had something to do with doctors or glasses. Optometrist, please, buddy. Shy, sweet look on Tomi's face as she said it, though, made him figure it probably wasn't a bad thing, whatever it was. Cars drifted on by one after the other. They saw no sign of a blue van. After a while, even Achi began to grow impatient. It was starting to feel like a waste of time. And then... Uh-oh. Tomi, look! There it was. Oh, keep out. Okay. Yes. Keep out. Right at the end. Okay. What was the other keep out? Minorikawa is at the 11:30 mark. I think Thomas' fate should be changed now, though. I feel like this choice doesn't really affect anything, so... Ah. Door flies open suddenly and a loud voice belts out. Hold it right there. What a neat little, theme song. Damn, okay. whirl around in panic to see an odd-looking man standing in the doorway. Junichi Yanagishita. Ooh. 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 Oh, where did we hear that name? Was it... Huh? Wait, where did we... was it from... Is it from... Minorikawa's Keep Out, maybe? Maybe. He's the guy who hired us. I heard that, Cherry. Don't you go calling my product junk. That's disrespectful. Cherry gave him an apologetic look. Sorry about that. Should be, but whatever. If you really have doubts, have a try yourself. Mr. Yanagishida pulls a bottle of burning hammer from his coat pocket. Sister products include Del Sweat's Cellulose Better Sweater, Dom Pepperon, Power Burn Z, Mr. Thin, Nega Chow, Super Nega Chow? Okay. At first glance it looks like some kind of energy supplement, but the cheapo label gives an immediate impression of sketchiness. Go on, says Yaga Nishida, give it a go. Cherry reaches out to take it. But no sooner does she grab the bottle than Mr. Yanagishida shouts out once more. Hold on, hold it! What? Cherry squawks. What gives? You too. You're both good stomach-wise. Stomach-wise? Yeah, drinking this stuff on empty stomach can cause some pretty nasty problems, as Kato found out in his bad end. So make sure you eat or drink something beforehand, doesn't matter what, really. Nasty problems? Yeah. Such as what, I ask? Death. Death. I'd rather not say, no one would buy it otherwise. Seriously. It's all good, I just had lunch, Cherry said. Flashes a carefree smile. I haven't eaten it yet, but on the other hand, I've been guzzling as much iced tea as I can to fill myself up. It's probably safe for me to try this stuff. Better not drink it. It's not even particularly appetizing. Cherry twists off the cap, bottoms up, shake it clear, proceeds to noisily gulp her bottle down. Doesn't seem like she minds it. Maybe it's actually pretty tasty after all, huh? You gonna have some too? Mr. Yanagishida flashed me a look. Might try a little bit. I stick the bottle of burning hammer into my mascot head mouth. Has an unexpected smell like curry. Getting my own lips around the mouth of the bottle, I gulp down the liquid inside. Huh? Doesn't taste like anything. Handful of seconds go by. Man. Man. Man, okay. What the heck? Feels like a firecracker just exploded inside my mouth. Now it's spicy. Way too spicy. It's like I just swallowed a chili pepper coated in curry powder. Before I knew it, I'm sweating bullets. Sweating? Mr. Yanagishida asked. Like a whole lot. You are, aren't you? Why does he sound so happy about that? That right there is the magic of burning hammer at work. Cherry and I are at a loss for words. Burning hammer. Drink all you want and just burn those pounds away. How's that sound? Good, huh? It's, something. It's just so stupid spicy and makes you sweat, Cherry blurts out. Litten to the point, I approve. Excuse me. Ah. Yeah? Well, I guess you're right, Yaga Nishida says. He hangs his head. What is in this stuff, I ask. I can still feel my tongue tingling. My body is almost too numb to move. I'm so shocked I even forget how to get properly angry. So, it's this health food product that I got imported from America a few years back, Yaga Nishida explains. Import agency went out of business not long after and couldn't move the merch. So I bought up the whole lot, everything they had in their storehouse, spent all the money I had on it. Cherry arches and eyebrow. How much did it cost you? 1 million yen for 300 bottles. I can scarcely believe my ears. 300 bottles at 1 million yen for the lot. That's roughly 3,333 yen a piece. Each one of these teensy little bottles costs over 3,000 yen? You got ripped off, man, Cherry says. You really think so? Yeah, you're probably right. Hangs his head even more despondently. This is the sort of thing they'd sell in a 100 yen shop or something. Cherry moving in for the kill. 100 yen shops, really? Mr. Yanagishida lets out the heaviest of sighs. I'm starting to feel pretty bad for the guy, actually. Don't let it get you down, sir, I said, hoping to comfort him. But Mr. Yanagishida just lets out a sob-choked sigh. Deep breath, emphatically inhaled. Way expressing the anxiety brought on by massive debt. One has no money to give, only sighs. Right around now, Minori Minorikawa is in the company of someone. Wait. He's in the company of someone who inclined to sigh this way. Yeah. Okay, let's jump. No, it's just... Toyama let out a long, heavy sigh of resignation. It's the scratch cards that were in 4-star general gossip. Type of lottery card featuring areas printed with a special silver ink. Silver inked areas can be scratched off with just a fingertip or coin to reveal potential winnings, providing a quick speed lotto fix. In order to prevent the symbols or letters underneath the silver from showing through, the back of the card is printed in black. You always seem to lose when you've got your hopes up and manage to win when you least expect it. And that's where the problem is. What is the problem? If you shine a light on the cards from behind, you can see where the winning symbols are. Whoa. I messed things up dealing with the printing company. All of this, he just said vaguely, is my fault, my responsibility. He proceeded to explain the situation in detail. Word was quick to leak on the internet that there were a way to find the winning symbols. Suddenly, thousands of cardholders turned up en masse to collect. Heaven Publishing was hit with a massive financial liability. Employees rushed to flee a sinking ship. Before Toyama realized it, he was the only one left at the company and he was up against the deadline for the next month's 4-star general gossip. If I have to drop the next month's issue, I'll be stuck in debt even further. And if that happens, man, I'm finished. Buddy. Toyama gave a dismal groan. So don't drop the issue, Minorikawa snapped. Pounded his fist right into the side of a cardboard box. But Toyama just shook his head weakly. I've been up for 3 days straight trying to fill the pages. It's not enough. I can't do the impossible. He dropped his gaze to the floor, countless scratch cards laid scattered about. Probably in the midst of a pile that had fallen off the desk earlier. Each card showed a neat row of 5 win symbols. You can't know if it's impossible if you don't see it through. I'll never make it in time. The proof needs to be done by 8 o'clock this evening. Final stage before printing, when copy or manuscript is checked for errors. Not sending corrected proofs to the printer before deadline can result in the book or magazine in question not making it onto the shelves in time for release day. Well then, Minorikawa thought to himself. He let it aside and held out his hand to Hana. Hana, would you mind giving me that hose? Hana gave her father a quick look, then handed the rubber hose to Minorikawa. What's gonna happen here? This won't be necessary. Tossed the rubber hose into the trash, then jabbed his finger at Toyama. Show me the layout in the draft proposal for the next month's issue. Toyama blinked a few times in disbelief. Huh? You can't possibly be serious. I'm trying to help. Now show me the layout in the proposal before I change my mind. After a brief, incredulous pause, Toyama hurried off to grab the paperwork. A layout in publishing speak is an outline of magazine showing which articles will occupy which pages. Minorikawa gave it a quick once-over, finding that 12 of the pages were still blank and untouched. Wanted to punch whatever writers had been assigned to those pages. See what I mean? Toyama said. It's hopeless. Sounds perversely proud of his failure. Getting enough material to fill 12 pages by 8 o'clock. Yeah, definitely a tall order, alright. Says who? Minorikawa replied. Remember who you're talking to here. Seriously think you can do it? You're joking, right? Minorikawa shot back. I seriously know I can do it. There's nothing in this world I hate more than a bad joke. Why are you doing this for me? Toyama was getting misty-eyed. I'm not doing it for you, you spineless wimp. I'm doing this for poor little Hana. Norikawa, I'm so sorry. Toyama bowed his head so deeply Minorikawa thought he might put his face through the floor. Don't apologize to me, apologize to your daughter. Forgive me, please forgive me, Hana. Toyama clutched her tightly in his arms. The girl hugged him back on the verge of tears. Hey now, enough of the waterworks. I got your backs. Don't you worry about a thing. Minorikawa picked up the draft proposal for the pages that need filling. The words Shibuya Scuttlebutt Special were plastered out across the cover sheet in big bold type. Okay, so a 12-page special edition block on Shibuya, fair enough. Minorikawa feels kind of detached from like the main plot with Hitomi and the kidnapping and stuff. I guess that's the same with Tamado. I think Minorikawa and Tama might be more interactive compared to like the other three between each other. 12-page special edition block on Shibuya, fair enough. First docket. Drink yourself thin with burning hammer. Yep. This reeked of a scam. The only way drinking more of something would make you lose weight would be if it were mixed with a laxative, probably. Wasn't enough time to tweak the layout plan now. According to the proposal write-up, a product demo was scheduled for 1 PM that day. Location printed on the map was blurry and hard to make out, but Minorikawa had a rough idea where it was. We didn't have much of a choice but to swing by in hopes of getting more material. Scan further along into the proposal. Society of Surveillance, hidden cameras installed throughout Shibuya. Probably has to do with like something with Kano. Or maybe something with like Achi. And they use those like hidden cameras to find him and Hitomi or something. Rise and Fall, or no. Rise and Fall of Shibuya, I think each of these like headlines are gonna be something to do with the other characters. So Rise and Fall of Shibuya's Vigilante Squad is gonna be definitely Achi. Where are they now? Raj-Top Screenwriter Showcase. Sexy Squad, twin shirt of top prize at local university beauty contest. Shibuya Now. These are... they're probably foreshadowing something here. Black market organ trafficking in Shibuya, shadowy foreign crime syndicate exposed. They want the girls for organ trafficking? I guess. Those 7 pieces were to fill the 7 empty pages, or were to fill the 12 empty pages. That was the plan at any rate. Wasn't enough material there to make any headway. Shibuya Now article didn't have any proposed content. This sucked hardcore. Wasn't much material for the rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad either. Years prior, a group of youngsters in Shibuya had banded together to help fight crime in their neighborhoods. At this point, however, things have flipped around completely. They become a gang of street punks themselves. Turn to the dark side. Had the makings for an interesting article, to be sure, but tracking down this gang would take time. Minorikawa was personally intrigued by the one about organ harvesting in Shibuya. The rumor was that organs were being smuggled out of Southeast Asia and fenced locally at a tremendous price. There was even a plan to ascertain the authenticity of these claims. Fascinating. If Minorikawa was going to be spending all day gathering other material, though, he didn't have much time to spare for it. You'll find a time, buddy. Shibuya Now, rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. Black market organ trafficking in Shibuya. One of those 3 would have to go. Thought about it long and hard as he stared at the draft proposal. There was a good chance he'd really screw himself over here and picked the wrong one. You basically have nothing for Shibuya Now, though. This has to do with Achi's old gang, SOS. That's of Shibuya. And I guess this is what the Foreign Syndicate is up to, so let's just get Minorikawa involved in the main story then. Decided to catch Shibuya Now. Didn't have the time to make up an article out of whole cloth. His goal was to make sure that 4-star general gossip made it to the press at all. Society of Surveillance. Where are they now? 60 squared. Those 3 pieces had individuals slated for interviews, but no appointments had been made with any of them. Unscheduled interviews were a dicey prospect. Minorikawa decided to call them up on his cell as he made his way down the list. The only one he managed to get hold of was Shinosuke Orai from the Where Are They Now piece. Former broadcast writer, he appeared on various popular variety shows on Commercial Network, Sun TV. Currently heads up a small theater troupe known as the Wandering Angels operating out of Shibuya. Later today, the troupe is putting on a performance at Theater Ace in Sakura Gaokacho. Said he'd been willing to give a 15-minute interview after 2:30. Just had to get material from the others in a more impromptu fashion then. Putting his nose to the grindstone, he started throwing together a schedule for today. It was possible to get all the material and write it up and still finish the whole thing by 8. It's no use. No matter how he tweaked, and none of his simulations ended with him having a proof ready on time. Just needed one more thing, and that was another writer. Zoomed through his contacts list, calling up all the freelancers he knew. The results were depressing answering machines. Overseas on business, in the hospital, currently doing time. For long, he had called everyone he could think of except for one, novice freelancer Chiaki Iso. Chiaki was a bit of an odd duck, a reporter who was scared of talking to people. Same. Minorikawa had never known anyone who became so hopelessly flustered in a one-on-one setting. Such a rattled state as to be unable to speak, Chiaki's tendency to become flustered is famous among her freelance writer colleagues. She conducted an hour-long interview during which she only managed to ask her interview subject's name, yet another chapter in the legend of hopelessly flustered Chiaki. Aww. She couldn't talk to people, she certainly couldn't do interviews, and she couldn't get any real interview content, she wouldn't be able to write much in the way of copy. Would she come to his aid if asked? Quite probably. The issue was whether she would hinder more than help. You need someone who will answer, I think. You gotta try everyone. This was no time for beggars to be choosers. Minorikawa decided to call up Chiaki. Phone rang several times before a sleepy voice finally answered. I don't like that graphic. Look, it looks very like something out of Omori. Hello? Chiaki, hi, it's Minorikawa. Are you free today? Huh? She seemed thrown by the abrupt question. Did you just wake up? No, I mean... Well, yeah. Good morning. Voice still standing half asleep. So I'm guessing you don't have any work slated for today, as usual. Pretty much. No work, no money, no food. Nothing to do except sleep. If I'm not awake, I can't dwell on how hungry I am. Oh, this poor girl. She didn't sound well, almost like she literally didn't have anything to eat. So don't give her the burning hammer stuff. Got work for you. I'm over at 4-Star General Gossip. Get over here ASAP. What, you really mean it? Excuse me. That seemed to finally wake her up. Yeah, but hurry. Minorikawa decided he'll assign Chiaki to the rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. I'm not sure if that's really a good idea. I want you to take a look around Shibuya for this group of vigilante types. Vigilantes, you mean people who have volunteered to help prevent crime. There was a note of relief in Chiaki's voice. Yeah, that's right, except apparently now they've turned into a nasty street gang. Did you say street gang? Nuh-uh, no way, absolutely not. Minorikawa could almost see her shaking her head on the other side of the line. What if I get killed or sold into slavery overseas or something? Doubted there was much chance of the latter or the former for that matter, but still, he understood her concern. I hear you, he said. How about you go hang around Shibuya Station and do some street interviews for me? Street interviews? There was a nervous waver in Chiaki's voice now. Yeah, just talk to normal, regular people walking around outside at the train station. That should be fine, yeah. But, Mr. Mino, street interviews aren't really my, I guess we do have to put her, on the burning hammer thing. Apparently it's beyond her capacity to give him a simple no. No buts. Just interview at least 10 people and give me an article by 6 o'clock. Okay. Minorikawa had originally planned to access Shibuya Now piece because it didn't have any content, but getting some quotes from people on the street will at least make for a useful filler. That gave him a sudden idea. He'll take on the vigilante story himself and have Chiaki handle Shibuya Now. That's plenty of work to keep 2 people occupied throughout the day. More time-consuming organ market story would have to be cut. Did that choice count for anything? I guess not. After explaining what kind of interviews he was after, Minorikawa hung up. Okay, I got us another writer. We'll get through Toyama, somehow. Toyama shrugged gloomily. Thing is, there's actually one more problem. Are you kidding me? Minorikawa couldn't hide the irritation in his voice. What is it now? The loan company is sending a debt collector over at 4 o'clock. But, as you can imagine, I don't have a single yen to give them. That's less than ideal, yeah. What's the plan? They said provisionally if the next month's issue gets published, they'll be willing to wait on repayment. Then there's no problem, the issue's coming out guaranteed, but they're not going to take my word on that anymore. I'm gonna need to prove it. If we could fill maybe half of the 12 pages by the time they show up, I could probably convince them. Alright, Minorikawa said wearily. For starters, we need 6 pages by 4 o'clock. They had to get all 12 pages done as it was. That made a perfect midpoint to shoot for. Any other problems you'd like me to know about? No, that's all. Really, I'm sorry about this, Minorikawa. Again, he bowed his head low. Minorikawa felt distinctly awkward. He had known Toyama for years and never been kowtowed to like this before. Yeah, well, just let me handle it, alright? Minorikawa unfolded a map of Shibuya. First order of business was deciding where to begin getting content. He marked the editing office with a circle, then considered where to head next. Diet drink sales demo, center guy, where are they now? Sakura Gaoka, theater ace. Society of Surveillance, Dogenzaga / Endo Endo Electronics, that's Achi's dad. Sexy Square, Midoriyama Academy. Midoriyama High School. Alumni include famous actress Masami Nagahama, National High School Baseball Championship winning pitcher, the Tissue Prince. Its educational philosophy is summed up with its slogan, word, skill, and beauty. Very high percentage of winners of the Miss Midoriyama contest go on to careers in the entertainment industry. Shibuya Vigilantes, locations TBD. Diet drink sales demo was at 1 o'clock. Interview with Shinosuke Arai for where are they now was slated for 2:30, so those times were set. What to do in the interim? Ooh, I don't know. Like, where is the office? I can't really read this map. You didn't mark it with a circle, man. They're going to Dogenzaga. I think Achi and Hitomi are there right now, I think-ish, maybe. Can check. Achi, they're over here, I see. No, wait, no, that is not Minorihawa. Okay. That's not him, that's not him. That was like a different guy entirely. He might see the blue van. Yeah. It's a bit of a hike. You should go to Dogenzaga and check out Endo Electronics. Use the best of your time. Give him what he needs to put together the Society of Surveillance piece. Okay, I'm heading out. Don't even think about doing anything else stupid while I'm gone. Got it? Norikawa hustled out of the editing office, hoping Toyama would take his admonition to heart. Exiting the building, he hopped into the taxi that was waiting outside. Thanks for waiting. Can you get me to Dogenzaga ASAP? Son of a bitch. Oh. Minorikawa bristled. I beg your pardon? That son of a bitch you wanted to give a piece of your mind, sir. Was he waiting for you like you expected? Oh, yeah. I damn well did give him a piece of my mind, too. Glad to hear it, sir. This taxi driver is pretty... I love this guy. This taxi driver is such a buddy. Norikawa pulled out the proposal and looked it over again. I guess, like, if I didn't tell him to, like, wait, it might have, like, taken too long to get to, Endo Electronics then. Norikawa pulled out the proposal and looked it over again. The idea for a surveillance story revolved around the claim that hidden cameras had been installed throughout Shibuya's shopping districts. Upwards of 500 of them. Supposedly these had eliminated lots of blind spots and the crime rate in the area had dropped significantly. Managed by Daisuke Endo, the owner of Endo Electronics and chairman of the local downtown committee. Minorikawa's first mission then. He needed to get this guy's story. To be continued. Okay, no. Scanning the side of the road, Minorikawa finally spotted a rundown electronics shop. Sign out front, which looked like it might fall off at any moment, read Endo Electronics. Here's fine. Taxi stopped and Minorikawa pulled out a 10,000 yen bill from his wallet. Keep the change, he said. What? Look, don't sweat it. Name's Minoru Minokawa and I'm a freelance writer. I care about two things, what's real and what's true. There's real worth to what you've done for me. That's a token of my appreciation. It's not much, but please take it. Norikawa slid out of the taxi and headed for the electronics store. Just gave the guy like $100. Inside, Endo Electronics looked more like a mountain of hoarded junk than actual business. Towering piles of ancient appliances stretched toward the ceiling. Old television sets with dial knobs leaned against computers with 5-inch floppy drives. Floppy drives, goddamn. Storage medium for personal computers in production from 1976 to 2001. Magnetic discs are sheathed in paper or plastic jackets are known for their tendency to flop around in one hand. Technically speaking, they are 5.25 inches in diameter, incidentally door. Released in 1983, the debut title from this game's producer, Koichi Nakamura, was produced in a 5-inch floppy version. Okay, good to know. Go play, what's that game? Door. What possible use could there be for all this outdated stuff? Mr. Endo, are you in here? Minorikawa called out. Nobody came to greet him. Shop was definitely open though. Surely the proprietor hadn't left it unattended. Hey, Mr. Endo, come on, I know you're in there. After a short wait, Minorikawa heard some sounds from the living space behind the shop. Uh-oh. Oh. The door opened to reveal a tired-looking middle-aged man. What do you want? Are you Mr. Endo? Minorikawa asked. I feel like whenever I hear like that whipping sound, he's like dramatically pointing. I am, the man said guardedly. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of something at the moment. Can you come back tomorrow, or please just give me a minute? I'm a freelance writer. Name is Minorikawa. Minorikawa showed Endo his business card. I'm writing an article for 4-Star General Gossip. A magazine piece, huh? If I could have a little of your time today... The phone rang, cutting him off before he could get down to business. I'm sorry, you'll have to excuse me for a moment. Endo reached into the clutter and pulled out a telephone. Endo Electronics. Proprietor listened for a moment, then raised an eyebrow. That's a problem, alright. Alright, understood. Try to get hold of the customer then. Set the receiver back down. What was that all about? Yesterday I sold a dry ice machine and the manufacturer just called to let me know the model is a defective. Apparently once it starts making dry ice, it won't stop. That is foreshadowing something. I need to tell the customer I have to recall the machine and refund their deposit. Please give me a moment. Endo sifted through some sales slips, read a number off of one, and made a phone call. Nobody picked up on the other end, however. That's right, he grumbled to himself. Said he had some performance today. Performance, Minorikawa said. Sold it to the guy from some theater troupe. Man, everyone knows everyone. Okay. They're called the Wandering Angels or something. Theater troupe run by Shinosuke Arai. This afternoon at 5:30 p.m. they're performing their 22nd piece, Au revoir. Right now, all the actors are already at the theater except for Akiomi Mondo. Plays the rival of the main character, Ryu. The angry production chief has sent his assistant to Mondo's apartment, but he does not yet know what awaits him there. Continued in the Tale of Wandering Angels, episode 6 episodes in all. Okay. Wandering Angels, that was Shinosuke Arai's theater troupe. Minorikawa had an interview with him booked for 2:30. What can I do for you? Minorikawa hastily explained what he was after. Endo gave him a dubious look. As I said earlier, I'm a bit busy right now. Busy cleaning up, I hope. How do you get anything done in this mess? Are you rude to all your interview subjects? 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, please. Gotta be joking. Come on, go on, get the hell out of here. Endo headed for his back room in a huff. I'll just have to write about what you've already told me, namely that Endo Electronics sells defective merchandise. What are you implying? Did you or did you not sell that theater troupe a defective piece of equipment? Look, I'm gonna get in touch with them as soon as I'm betting they're in a hurry preparing for their performance. Doubt you'll be getting through to them today. Endo bit his lip. Now that I have your attention, Minorikawa said, let's make a deal. What kind of deal? I'm meeting with a member of the Wandering Angels a little later today. I can let them know about the giant ice machine for you. Exchange, all you have to do is give me my interview. Endo scowled. Where's your proof that you'll be meeting with the Wandering Angels? I might take advantage of a guy when he's down, but one thing I'm not is a liar. Shopkeeper took a few moments to think about it. Fine, he grumbled. 5 minutes. It's all you get. Minorikawa whipped out his notepad out of his coat like he was drawing a gun. Then let's get right down to it, shall we? Go right ahead. Hear that over 500 surveillance cameras have been installed throughout Shibuya's shopping districts. That's right. Why so many? We used to have a lot of delinquents in town. Young people who act rowdy or cause trouble, often at arcades or convenience store parking lots, frequently resort to petty theft and other mischief. Often referred to in more outmoded terms as ruffians or hoodlums. Endo said the word with marked distaste. Oh yeah, I remember there being some problem kids somewhere around. Real punks. They vandalized my signs, made a mess of my storehouse. They were just awful. I see. Minorikawa scribbled diligently in his notepad. My own son put together a sort of vigilante squad to help teach those punks a lesson. Wait. Vigilante squad? Whoa, hold up right there for a sec. Minorikawa jutted out his hand to interrupt. This guy's son was part of the vigilante squad? What a stroke of luck. And we can also provide some info for the article on the gangs of Shibuya. I don't mean to get too far off topic here, but could you tell me the name of the group your son belongs to? They call themselves SOS. Originally a group of well-meaning young people who would get together downtown as sort of a vigilante squad. Trying to keep Shibuya clean and safe. In those days, the group never engaged in theft or other criminal activities. More recently, however, SOS has become one of the biggest gangs in Shibuya, resorting to defacing public property with graffiti, shoplifting, and shaking people down for cash. Prided themselves on being the top gang in Shibuya and all that. Top gang in Shibuya. Did I really just hit the jackpot right here? Not to pat myself on the back, but go me. All I have to do is step outside and the story finds me. I think I might be a natural at this. Or maybe I'm just a protagonist in a visual novel. As it happens, I'd also like to interview people from SOS. Would you be able to put me in touch with your son? Sure. But you should know that my son isn't in the gang anymore. Oh, we can jump to Achi. Okay. Okay. Let's get that keep out of the way. Tell me, look. There it was. Blue van. Blue van had appeared nearby, parked in a spot that had been empty previously. Achi couldn't see who was inside, but there was definitely something fishy about it. There weren't any other blue cars around, so this had to be it. He'd been right. The crooks had come back after all. I'm gonna go take a quick look, Achi said. You wait here. Before he could carry out his plan, he told me to jump to her feet. Without a word, she rushed toward the van. Hold on, I said wait. She wasn't slowing down. Achi got hold of her arm. Wait, this could be dangerous. What if the kidnapper's in there? What if my sister's in there? I have to go help her. Achi knew full well what it was like to be impulsive, but this was one situation where cooler heads would have to prevail. Can't just hang out here, she insisted. What if the car takes off again? That's why I said I was going go take a look first. But isn't that dangerous? What if they do something to my sister because some random guy comes snooping around? Oh, huh, yeah, you, got a point. Achi thought as fast as he could. Criminal told Hitomi to get into the van. There had to be some specific reason for that. What if they were planning to abduct her as well? Whatever the case, he couldn't just let her go. Ooh, I want to check something. When does Osawa's bad end happen? Wait, so this is at 11:50. I think that must have happened at 11:50 then. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Let's go together then? Does that work for you? Please, we have no idea who or what we might run into. Tommy gave a slight nod. Alright, she said. Let me go first and you follow, okay? Got it, Achi replied. Oh no, she's gonna get no, I think this is what leads to Osawa's bad end. Achi waited as Hitomi started walking, then followed her at a distance so it wouldn't look like they were together. She headed straight for the van. She gets dragged in. Two men got out of the car near them, Japanese. Achi picked up his pace in case he needed to close the distance fast. Approached Hitomi and said something to her. She gave an affirming nod. Yeah. This is a bad end. Dragged her to the van, shoved her in the back seat. Yeah. Broke into a sprint. Of course it was a trap. He didn't know. Kidnap. Yeah. 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 Bad end. Bad end. Raced after it. Can give up now. Can let. Yeah. Yeah. Bad end. Mac and cheese. Man. Never saw it. Tell me again. Yeah, I need to fix that. Lost sight of the van. Maybe he should put his foot down and checked on them things himself first. Yeah. Let's go fix that. Just let me go first. I don't want to put you at any risk. Tommy's determination wavered at the look in Achi's eyes. Please, he continued. You have no idea who or what we might run into. If I think they're gonna try to run off again, I'll give some signal. Right. I'm thinking... I think like when Maria was kidnapped, they said that only one guy was in the vehicle. I had mac and cheese yesterday. I wish I had some. I would like some cheese. I'm a simple guy who would like some cheese. But here, when Hitomi gets kidnapped, there's two guys. I wonder if it's because they're like in a big city or something, like in the right in the middle of the city, right in the middle of Dogenzaka. Then you can come along, and I doubt they'll be interested in leaving then. Tommy gave a reluctant nod. Please, be careful. Will do. Tell me if my sister's in there. I will, you can count on it. Something's gonna happen here. Achi stepped out into the open and started walking toward the van. He tried his best to look as if he wasn't paying it any attention. An ordinary passerby. As he got nearer, he tried to sneak a glimpse inside. The van's dark window film made it hard to see who might be inside or even how many people. Casually, he moved closer still to get a better look. Uh-oh. Whoa, that's a lot of guys, actually. Suddenly, the sliding door burst open and several people jumped out. None of them were Japanese. Within moments, Achi was surrounded. Whoa, what? Hey, what's the deal? Achi said. He let out a little chuckle. Man, the thing must be packed. How many seats you got in that thing, anyway? Take another step toward the vehicle and look inside. Ooh. One of the men pulled a knife from inside his jacket, thrusting it out in Achi's direction. He probably meant it as a simple threat, but on reflex, Achi went into self-defense mode, kicking him right in the jaw. Nice. There's a loud crack as his foot connected and broke his jaw. The man dropped out like light. The other stared and rushed him. Technically, this is self-defense. Well, this sure hasn't gone as planned. Too late to take it back now. Damage was done. Achi was just going to have to take out the rest of these punks too. He nimbly shifted his feet, evading their initial attack. Having to take these guys 3 to 1 wasn't going to be pretty. Achi... You heard Hitomi cry out. Crap. He hadn't given any signal, but she had come out of hiding anyway. Hitomi, stay back. How is he supposed to fight off 3 guys and protect her at the same time? What could he do? What should he do? Within moments, a number of passersby had gathered around the fight. Maybe they heard Hitomi shouting. What's going on? My god, is that a knife? This ain't just some petty squabble. Someone call the police. Some of them began taking photos with their cell phones. One of the men cursed in frustration and signaled for his buddies to get back into the car. Achi couldn't stop them. The engine roared to life and the van sped away. Knowing he'd never catch them on foot, Achi merely watched it go. He failed. This was his fault, all of it. Achi bit his lip hard. How could he possibly face Hitomi now? He can face her right now. Achi. Hitomi's voice was hollow, empty. Achi stared down at his feet like a scolded child. I'm sorry, I didn't see whether your sister was in there or not. I see. The words, so simple and matter-of-fact, stung him to the heart. I'm so sorry. But Hitomi simply shook her head. The fact that she wasn't even chewing him out made him feel all the worse. I know I messed up, but He's going to say I'll make up for it somehow, but he froze at fear at what he saw next. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The gunman. Across the street, staring at them, was the man with the cane. There's like so many... There's a bunch of like passersby. There's a bunch of bystanders with cell phones, and they were just taking pictures of the guys Achi was fighting. This feels like a bad idea, Kane man. Tell me it's him. We had to get out of here. Grabbed Hitomi by the hand and bolted down Dogenzaga. The assassin followed, staying on his side of the road. Achi wasn't sure what to do. Should they try heading into the alleys and side streets again? No, it was more dangerous to head someplace where there'd be fewer witnesses. Best to stick to Dogenzaga for now. The man wouldn't be able to gun them down if they managed to lose themselves in the crowd along Center Guy first. Besides, the guy had to use a cane. Achi and Hitomi couldn't outrun him. Hand in hand, they sped along Dogenzaga and through the intersection in front of the 109 building. Come on, Hitomi, just a little further. Okay. She's panting, but she pressed on. Achi risked a glance back over his shoulder. Huh? He stopped in surprise. Oh, Kano! What's wrong? Hitomi asked. That guy, he's not following us. Slope down to the intersection wasn't all that steep. Several plainclothes detectives have been hiding amidst the crowd in the intersection as part of the kidnapping stakeout. Director Kuze sending a message to all the officers all over the wireless. Detectives have stopped to listen in. It's been unusual, an observant individual might notice. It's strange that the gunman hadn't bothered to pursue. Ow, I bit my tongue. Still, there was no time to worry about this behavior right now. Tell me, can you still run? Wait. Does that mean the cane guy is a cop then? Okay. Is he like an inside man? For the Foreign Syndicate? Okay. Tommy, can you still run? Yeah, I'm alright. Then this is our chance. This way. They need to put plenty of distance behind them before the assassin came after them again. But they also need to find a van again and rescue Hitomi's sister. Would they be able to find it and yet stay hidden from the man with the cane? Achi wasn't sure one way or the other, but with Hitomi in tow, they hurried onward along Center Guy. To be continued. To be continued. Achi's story, I feel like, keeps, getting the to be continued at really good cliffhangers. I jumped from Tama to Minorikawa to Achi, so let's go back to Tama then. Tama-chan. Let it go to you. Try again. It'll be okay. Whether or not it helps you lose weight, it is spicy and it does make you sweat. Not sure if I follow, Cherry says. How much are you selling those bottles for, boss? 15,000 yen per bottle. That is a scam. Selling all 300 bottles would yield proceeds of 4.5 million yen. 15,000 yen per bottle would be 150 USD, about. After deducting expenses, such as the cost of the product, rental fee for the venue, pay for part-timers, and printing flyers, this yields a net profit of roughly 2.5 million. 2.5 million, It's doubtful that anyone would actually pay 15,000 yen for a single small bottle, but you never know. There'd be a few housewives or young women out there who'd fork out that much in the name of weight loss. A terrifying thought. Yeah. That's a scam, though. What? Cherry's jaw practically hits the floor. Mine does the same. No way. Nuh-uh. No frickin' way. Calling that price point absurd wouldn't begin to do it justice. Look, selling it at that price is my only option. I need to cover my cost. Anyway, please, I need you both to work your hardest. Apparently he's committed to the same course of action. Okay, Cherry replies. More like a sigh and a proper response, but I can't blame her. As for me, I can't even find the words. I'm so flabbergasted. Hey, try to murmur. Sorry, what was your name again? He interjects. Alright, I'm Tama. Why are you still wearing your costume? Stumble my way through an explanation. Oh, Tama looks tiny. Wow, so then are you going to do the sales demo like that? Well, if I can't take the mascot costume off, I don't have much of a choice, do I? No, that won't do at all. I hired you to be a model. If you're wearing that thing, then what's the point? I'm at a loss for words. The point is exactly what he's missing. It's not like I'm wearing this getup because I want to. How about we just cut it off of you? Cheery says with a big grin. She pulls out a massive pair of scissors out of her bag. Blades make an unsettling snip-snip sound as she waggles them in my face. No, you can't do that. Yanagishida explains, that suit's a rental. I don't want to have to reimburse them for that thing. What am I supposed to do, I ask. He looks at me uncertainly. Maybe you can have someone from the rental place come down, Cherry suggests, before helping herself to the rest of my lunch. Hey, good idea, Yanagishida says. He seems to be making an effort to calm himself down, at least. Just try to grin and bear it until then, Tama. Well, I guess that's that, then. Sure, we'll get it off eventually, I say. Hopefully before the demo. That's the spirit. I really need you to be my model. Model, huh? It's flattering, but I can't help but wonder, would I be any good at that? This is no time to be timid. I need that money no matter what. Ugh. My troubles all started earlier this morning. Thank you. Please explain what's going on with Tama. I was at a knick-knack shop on Center Guy. What is necklace? Necklace. Ugh. 40,000 yen, 400 bucks. I happened to pass by and I spotted a red necklace on display at the storefront. And I got this weird sensation when I saw it. Can maybe call it deja vu? Something like that. As if I'd been drawn to it somehow. Ooh. She's definitely amnesiac, I think. Drawn to it somehow. This was mine, I'm sure of it. I wanted it. No, I needed to make it mine. As soon as I possibly could. That's how strong the feeling was. The price was 40,000 yen. I checked my wallet repeatedly, but I only had 20,000 on me. Nonetheless, I needed to have it. There was just one question: how? Somehow I managed to drag myself away from the shop. Just a few minutes later, I ran into Mr. Yanagishida. Hey, a voice said out of nowhere. If you want, I can pay you 10,000 for a day's work. I found myself staring at this frumpy middle-aged man who was handing me his business card. Managing Director Junichi Yanagishida, Yamato Health Foods Company Ltd. I'm in a real bind here. I need some extra help. Would you mind coming with me? I'm begging you just one day. It seemed pretty sketchy. As much as I needed money for that necklace, I wasn't going anywhere with some random weirdo. I ignored him and tried to just walk off. He's wearing yellow. It's like a yellow sweater, or like yellow cardigan or something. Please, please! Yanagishida grabbed me by the hand. Watch it, pal, I snapped. Hands off or I start shouting for help. Please, it's not like that, just hear me out. Look, I'm in a hurry. Please! Please! Knock it off! I spun forcefully away from him, yanking my hand from his grip. Oh. Man. Ooh, yeah, can't see enough of her to figure out who she is, though. Get popcorn and coffee for lunch. Maki, get some actual food in you, buddy. Oof. Yanagishida whirled through the air and fell into the bushes. Well, where did that come from? He gasped. His eyes were wide as saucers. You're a martial artist or something? No, I think that was just a fluke. Truth was, I was surprised myself at how well I pulled off that escape move. Ah, okay then. Look, I'm sorry. Can you give me a hand? No way. I mean, give me your hand. My hip's killing me here. I guess. The least I could do was help the guy get to his feet. Look, why are you hounding me so much? Please don't be angry. The moment I saw you, I just felt it. You're the only person who could possibly do this job for me. I let out a sigh, but my interest was admittedly piqued. What kind of job? I need a sales rep for a health supplement. I want you to do PR as a dieting success story for my product. Just look at you. You have the body of an actress. Sales are gonna go through the roof. Well, it's hard to feel too offended when he told me that. The job didn't seem as fishy as I initially suspected. Alright, maybe I'm interested. There's just one thing. Whatever it is, I'm sure I can handle it. I need 20,000 yen as soon as possible. So if the day only pays 10,000, alright then. If you can sell 100 bottles at our sales event, I'll throw in another 10,000 as a bonus. How's that sound? I certainly couldn't think of any other way I was going to earn 20,000 yen in a single day. This might be exactly the break I needed. You got a deal. You'll have my services for today, I said, bowing my head. Yeah, I see the chicken. I see the chicken. I see the chicken head. And also I think I see the cat ears poking out of the grain bag. Yanagishida jumped for joy. What about your hip? Huh? Oh yeah, it's better now. All better. I was hoping you would keep animating. Okay. Fixed itself just now. Yanagishida bowed deeply as I gave him a dubious look. Look, I'm sorry, he added hurriedly. I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you, honest. Oh, wait. She looks kind of short. I don't know. Or maybe it's just like in comparison in this one shot, because, Yanagishida is bowing. I mean, I think she has pretty much the same hairstyle as the actress for Hitomi. So it wouldn't be, like, too, like... It wouldn't be too weird if she was Maria, then. Because they are twins, I'm pretty sure. I guess... That's something I'd probably have to look up later, if, like, It depends on how they're, like, portraying twins. If, like, they're fraternal twins, or, like, the actress herself is a twin, and her twin is playing the twin. Yeah. I was just scouting for talent and saw you, and, well... Was trusting this guy really the best idea? I was starting to worry just a little about whether he'd actually pay up. I've staked everything on the sales demo later today, he went on. This is the make-or-break opportunity of a lifetime. Sure. I'll be honest with you, I'm in a ton of debt. 2 million yen. 2 million. Yanagishida's tone had taken on a feverish intensity. If I don't pay it back by the end of the day, then boy howdy am I up the creek without a paddle. How do you even get into a situation like that? I asked. He gazed skyward, a far-off look in his eyes. Because even if he knows he has no chance of winning, sometimes a man just has to stand and fight. Guess a girl like you wouldn't understand. He laughed and smiled at his own words, but he was right. I sure as heck didn't understand in the slightest. Anyway, real quick, could you put this on? Mr. Yanagishida briskly rummaged through his bindle, then thrust a cat costume out towards me. Here? Yeah. For the sales event, you gotta hand out some samples. Burning hammer in the sample bottles is cut 10 parts to 1 with water. Even so... Wait, really? Wait, it's diluted, like... It's diluted? That much? Okay. Even so, it is intensely spicy, and drinking it on an empty stomach is sure to cause gastrointestinal distress or even make the drinker black out. It's hard to believe that a sample of something so dangerous would win over so many customers, but... You never know. There could be housewives or young women out there who accept such a arrested name of weight loss and are terrifying thought. Man. Job's already started, you know? With that, Mr. Yanagishida went about getting me into the mascot suit. And then it became a part of me. Looking back on it, it was a pretty ridiculous turn of events. Still, if I was going to get my hands on that necklace, I had to take the chance that this job would pay out. I doubt we're going to be able to sell a single bottle of this crap, Teary whispers in my ear. I'll just have to do the best I can, I say. Say it more to myself than to anyone else. Once again, I ask myself, why am I in such a rush to get this necklace anyway? I honestly don't know. It's the strangest thing. Ooh. I try my hardest to think of a reason, but all I get is a dull aching throb at the back of my head. Definitely amnesiac. It's the same pain I felt earlier, as I gotten a good bonk on the head or something. Yeah. To be continued. Okay. I feel like I might be able to finish everyone's 11 o'clock block at this point. Oh, you're to be continued. It stops at 11:40, not at 12. Okay. Let's finish Minarikawa's jump. Or Minarikawa's time block, I think. Your son? Sure. isn't in the gang anymore. Oh, Minorikawa hesitated. I guess he's no use to me then. Believe me, I know how you feel. Look on Endo's face spoke volumes. There's no point in interviewing Endo's son if he wasn't with the gang anymore. It figured that Minorikawa's run of good luck would end eventually. Still, he got in the lead in the form of a name, SOS. That was progress. Alright. Back to the matter at hand, he flipped his notepad back open. What did you decide to do about all these juvenile delinquents? Set up a tiny little web camera in order to protect my property. Designed to send video information to a computer via internet. Often spot them outside private residences and even on public streets. Installed and used for use in surveillance, given the risk of transmitted data being intercepted. Image recorded by such cameras are generally encrypted to prevent playback by unauthorized third parties. Many landmarks and attractions make their camera footage publicly available online. I see. I'm guessing the webcam did the trick. Sure did. So the other local businesses heard about it and started asking me to install some for them. Web cameras aren't particularly expensive, so it wasn't too tough to set them up all over downtown. So who's in charge of these security cameras? Members of the downtown business committee take turns. Cameras are connected via a wireless network that the business owners can access throughout the area. LAN, or local area network. Communication systems that can only be used within a limited geographical area. Wireless LAN transmits using electronic signals. Convenient because it does not require regular cable attachments, there's a risk of signals conveyed in this way being intercepted by a third party. That might be important somehow. As your security for this wireless network, no problems on that front. Endo seems surprised at the question. All the footage sent over the network is fully encrypted. Process of encoding data so it's indecipherable by a third party requires what's called a key, a program designed for this purpose. Two main types of cryptographic systems: secret key crypto systems use the same key for both encryption and decryption. Public key crypto systems use a public key to encrypt the data, but require a private key known by the recipient in order to decrypt. But still, people can't feel too good about being recorded on camera without their knowledge, don't you think? Minorikawa asked. Shopkeeper's expression darkened. We hope to strike a balance between crime prevention and protecting individual privacy. Who determines what that balance is? Let a note of challenge slip into his voice. That'd be me. I've been entrusted with the management of the security cameras. I see. You're providing your own moral oversight. Implying that I'm abusing my authority, I'm doing this on the name of public order. Right, you had your 5 minutes. Get out of here. That's enough for an article, I suppose. Shopkeeper stood up and headed into the back. I'll be sure to let the Wandering Angels know about the dry ice machine. Minorikawa hollered at the closing door. Episode 2. And Akio Mimono didn't show up at the theater at the meetup time. Production assistant Yukio Tozuka went to call on him at his apartment. Upon arriving, Tozuka found that the place had been staked out by debt collectors. Wanda had borrowed 300,000 yen, goddamn, and they wouldn't leave his home until he paid up. Like the only way to save Mondo was to give the debt collectors the operating funds for the theater, but before Suzuki could head back to relay this news, the props master Shinichi Bando showed up. Continued in episode 3. Endo didn't reply. Nori Cotton had gotten enough of a story to put an article together, so he decided to hurry to a coffee shop and get started on some copy. He was making his way downtown. Oh, getting it fast. Okay. Along Dogen Saga when his cell phone rang. The incoming call showed Chiaki's name. Chiaki, what's going on? It's no use. She sounded like she was on the verge of tears. What's no use? I can't do this. I just can't talk to people passing by on the street. Why not? Everyone seems so busy when they're walking past. If I try to interrupt them, they're gonna be all mad at me. Oh, this poor girl. But who cares if they get mad? Minorikawa was ready to start ripping his hair out. I don't want them to be mad at me, she whimpered again. This wasn't about what she wanted, was it? She's supposed to be working, not whining. Look, Chiaki, you need to get me those interviews, period. Did I make myself clear? I hung up before she could squeeze in an objection. Damn it, Minorikawa muttered. Just what I needed, one more thing to worry about. He pulled at his hair a few times and cast his worried gaze in the direction of Shibuya Station. To be continued? Yeah. Okay. I think... Actually, Osawa's story might be, like, right at its end. Yeah, I got the to be continued for everyone except for Osawa, so... That's gonna stay the same. Not over the phone. And then next page should be different. They don't, like, tell him that his daughter has also gone... his other daughter's gone kidnapped. Scared about what might happen here. Osawa's story has been kind of creepy. Mr. Osawa, are you going somewhere? Yeah. Stole-looking man. Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the detectives from the Shibuya precinct. Detective with the Shibuya precinct's criminal investigation division. He's sociable but awkward. Despite his reserved personality, he can be quite unsettling. His colleagues at the precinct refer him by nicknames such as Japanese Columbo and Little Ken Takakura, given his own quirky demeanor as a detective. Menacing. He struck Osawa as a bit too soft-spoken and meek for a detective, really. And his treatment of the kidnapping case gave an impression of flighty detachment that made him seem rather undependable. Not really. Has there been any detectives, detective? Wait, what did I say? Have there been any developments, detective? Kajiwara shook his head quietly. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not really sure what to tell you. Kajiwara then slipped a hand into his suit pocket. Banana? He pulled out a banana. Highly nutritious food belonging to family Musaceae genus Musa. Contain a variety of different carbohydrates, provide long-lasting energy, and are an optimal energy source when exercising. The famous slipperiness of banana peels is due to oils in the inner part of the skin, but even if all the oils were removed, slapstick comedians would still probably slip on them anyway. Banana. Are you hungry? These are good for when you're tired. Have you been eating? I'm fine, Osawa said. This guy's creepy. Kajiwara seemed to lack a detective sense of situational awareness. He's not very good at reading the room. He's not really good at reading the cookie. Just being around him just got on Osawa's nerves. I need you to come with me, the detective said, if you don't mind. He took Osawa by the arm. I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. I'm afraid. I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared, honestly. Kajiwara hurried him towards the living room. Osawa could hear the other detectives talking on the other side of the door. It's working at a time like this? Seriously? Do not get rich people in their priorities. I feel bad for his daughter. Dad's a real piece of work. Bad-mouthing him in his own house. I'm really sorry about all of that, Kajiwara said, pausing in embarrassment. Osawa pushed past him and opened the door. Okay. Your family when you rip gas at the dinner table. Man. A number of police detectives have holed up in the living room. They suddenly went silent as Osawa entered. Tell me, would you rather I stay here weeping as I watch this disaster unfold? Detectives winced and grimaced. Forgive me for not being a perfect father, he added, his hostility building. Kajiwara stepped forward to intervene before things got out of hand. Now, let's not be touchy. I'm not being touchy, Osawa snapped. But he knew full well that he was. These guys had the time to sit around backbiting him, but not to go out and bring Maria to safety? Already close to half a day and had gone by without any new developments. The ransom demand had come in the previous night at 8 o'clock. Maria had been abducted roughly an hour before. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. by Hachiko in Shibuya, have the sister Hitomi bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is forfeit. Kidnapped her called only once, so the police were unable to run a trace. I'll do it, Hitomi said. Anything for my sister. She didn't hesitate in the slightest at the suggestion that she made the ransom handoff. Saw was staunchly opposed to the idea, but police were of the opinion that it was better to acquiesce to the kidnapper's demands. Ai's reaction, on the other hand, baffled nearly everyone. We don't have 50 million just laying around. Are the police going to be putting that together for us? Oof. Kajiwara stepped in to reassure her. If it comes down to it, the police will be able to help raise the money. Okay, go ahead then. Do it. We need you to pay it back afterwards, though, of course. What's the point of that? Ai's voice spiked up to a piercing shriek. Oh man, calm down, Osawa told her. You're making a scene. I turned away in a huff. Come on, it's your daughter's life. It's alright, Detective, Osawa continued. I'll talk to the bank first thing tomorrow morning and figure something out. With that, I stormed out of the room. Kajiwara bowed his head several times in an apology. Soon as Hitomi has made contact, we'll apprehend the suspect and take things from there. What? Hold on, won't that put Maria in danger? If we let the kidnapper get away with the money, we have no proof that he'll return the hostage safely afterwards. There was a certain logic there, Osawa had to concede. I see, he said. So you're saying that catching this guy will be easier for you if he keeps my daughter hostage? No. That's not what I was implying at all. Kajiwara wiped the sweat off his brow and bowed profusely. At least, I promise we'll get your daughter back safe and sound, Mr. Osawa. Nothing to be gained from further challenging detectives. Alright then. I'll let the police do their job. Saw bowed even lower than Kajiwara had. Yeah. How long are you gonna just loaf around? I shrieked as she stormed into the room. Hurry up and arrest this guy! She's becoming increasingly hysterical. An hour had passed since the suspect had taken the money, yet the police had no effort to apprehend him. The police apparently had a rule against discussing an operation before it was fully resolved, and so the Osawas had been left in the dark. But they had overheard the task force talking over the wireless. It appeared that they were deliberately letting the suspect roam free. Hey, I snapped again. If he gets away with our money, you are gonna reimburse us, Osawa scowled. She made it sound like the money was more important than Maria's life. Detectives exchanged uneasy glances. Ooh. Osawa said nothing. By now he was accustomed to Ai's coolness towards the two girls. Oh, okay. Stepmom, okay. Twins were Osawa's daughters from his first wife who passed away 15 years ago. I had no blood ties to Maria or Hitomi herself. Well, are the police going to reimburse us or not? She glared pointedly at Kajiwara. Right now we're focused on making sure Maria is safe. I stormed up to him, shouting right in his face. Stop dodging the question, answer me. Of course. Like something to eat till you calm down. He hauled out a banana. I smacked it out of his hand. Oh dear, what a waste. Are we gonna hit a bad end? Osawa went over to Tanaka and whispered into his ear. Going to meet Mr. Makino. Tanaka nodded silently. Turning, Osawa saw Kajiwara looking in their direction. He made eye contact, but Osawa quickly looked away and strode out of the living room. Kajiwara followed after him. Excuse me. Is the banana gonna be important for something? I feel like you're setting it up so like the banana's gonna be important for something. Excuse me, Mr. Osawa. What is it? Tete fussy sheepishly with his hair and forced a smile. Appreciate it if you could have remained in the living room as much as possible. No mood to stand on propriety. Got a ton of work to do. Are you here to tell me to play the role of the grieving father too? Not at all. I happen to think that you're an admirable father, Mr. Osawa. That word have a ring of sarcasm? Had no way to tell if Kajiwara was being forthright with him or not. No ordinary fellow, Mr. Osawa. You're a genius. Genius? Me? Sam made a skeptical noise. Am I mistaken, sir? He made very important strides in the field of virus research. So I've been told. He had never considered himself a genius. Someone who was more interested in viruses than he was in other people. Everyone who's a genius is also a little bit odd, after all, Kajiwara went on. Probably he intended that as a compliment, but still. Nothing wrong with weirdos, so long as they leave us ordinary folks alone, you know. Guy trying to praise me or insult me? Let out a heavy sigh. Genius, weirdo, what did it even matter? So long as he could be left to his own work, he didn't care one whit how he looked in other people's eyes. Wiped the sweat off his forehead with a handkerchief. What are you working on right now? Wouldn't understand even if I explained it to you. Right, precisely. Even if I gave it my full attention, it would still be beyond me. Peered with sudden intensity at Osawa's face. Ugh. Appreciate it if you didn't hide things from me, sir, he said. Osawa gaped at a loss for words. I'm sorry. Goodness, that made it sound like I'm accusing you of hiding something, didn't it? Detective bowed his head repeatedly. Banana. Hope you'll forgive me. Allowed the banana. That won't be necessary. How about this then? Chocolate. Pulled a bar of chocolate from his pocket. No thank you. Did this guy carry an endless food supply wherever he went? Oh my, geniuses really are tough to sort out. Lined his head, mumbling to himself for a moment. What can I get for you then, sir? What I'd really like... some time by myself. Ugh. In days of exasperation, Osawa felt his way to the study. Locking the door, he finally let out the breath he was holding. His eyes alighted on the bookshelf against the wall. Aww. Pulled out a photo album and began to flip through it. Pictures of his daughter's grade school enrollment ceremony. Mother had already passed away from illness, so Osawa had taken the girls himself. After the ceremony, he told me how to come down with a fever. He told me I had been rather sickly as a girl, falling bedridden at the drop of a hat. Maria, by contrast, had been lively and energetic, quite the handful. Osawa had found it remarkable that their personalities could be so different despite them being twins. He flipped further into the album. Picture of the three of them at their grade school graduation. Maria was looking away from the camera. Felt like someone had stabbed a dagger in his heart. Why was she looking away? His daughters or virology? Which truly concerned him more? Which did he truly love? His daughters, hopefully. It was ridiculous to try to compare the two, and known the answer before he even asked himself. Even so, human emotions were complicated. Sometimes made people act inconsistently. One of the consequences of that was this photo album. Why is she looking away? The last photo he had of Maria. He searched and searched through the rest of the album, but she was nowhere else to be found. Why? Why? To be continued. Well, we're at the noontime block. When she's dead, you'll understand. He's right back where we started. You're a weirdo, buddy. Eels and I are one and the same. Please keep this email a secret. Okay. Okay. Cat's out of the bag.